Okay, so let's look at how we use symbols of inclusion in algebra. Before I continue, you are welcome to follow me by pressing subscribe here below, and you can join me on my daily lectures where I help my students every day. And welcome aboard. Okay, so using symbols of inclusion in algebra. Here you can see we have 3, and in the brackets we have a plus b. Now we've already learned that those parentheses are called symbols of inclusion. And if we were to simplify that, we would get 3a plus 3b. Why did we get that? Because we multiplied plus 3 by plus a, and we got that. And then we multiplied plus 3 by plus b, and we got that. Okay, we're familiar with this already. Now, I'm just revising a little bit quickly before we move on. If we were to do this one with a negative on the outside, remember your two different signs, we would have minus 2x because of the plus x and the minus 2 plus 2y, because when you multiply a minus and a minus, you're going to get a plus. Okay, so we had minus 2x, there it is there, and plus 2y, there it is there. Now, I just want to reinforce the rule when it comes to solving the different types of brackets in algebra. There is a rule that you need to revise. We always solve from the inside going outwards. So here we would do what's in there first. Then we would do whatever's in the square brackets or the braces. And then we would go on to these little ones over here. Okay, so let's go do a few examples like that. So we simplify terms containing parentheses, brackets, and braces. And you can see here we have quite a few. We've got a set there. Then we've got a set here, and then we've got a set there. Now remember what I've just told you, we start on the inside. So if we were to solve this one from the inside, this is the one we're focusing on first. So we're going to have a solution for 6 minus 3. Everything else we're just going to write as it is. We are first solving the first ones. And 6 minus 3 is 3. So there's the answer of that one. Okay? And then we rewrote everything else as it stands around it. Now you can see we have another set in the middle here. We have this one. So that's what we're going to solve next. So we're going to say to ourselves 8 minus 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9. So then we rewrite everything else around it. This has come to stand here. Okay, it's actually a minus 9. I'll tell you why, because do you see that minus sign on the outside? It was first multiplied in. So I jumped a step here, so that became minus 8 plus 2. So minus 8 plus 2 is minus 6, minus 3. And that became minus 9. Okay, so that makes sense now. So we got a minus 9 out of those brackets there. This set over here, I call everything brackets, but actually there's another name for it. Okay, so then once we've solved this one, we now have these over here and whatever's inside them, including the answer to this one, which is here. Okay, let me just remove all the scribbles so you can see it a bit clearer. Right, so now we are left with that. So we have a plus sign on the outside, which means everything's going to stay the same. And we're going to have 5 minus 9 plus 9. And that gives us an answer of 5. So this is now that answer. And then we finally do the last step, which is 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5. I don't know why there was a 10 there. Let me rub that out. 2 plus 5 is 7. My brain wasn't thinking. I thought 2 times 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. Okay. Always respect your pluses. Right. Now you understand how we always start with the inner brackets, then the next one, and then the next one. That is how we do these things in algebra. Let's look at what's going on here. Okay, so any guesses as to where we start? If you thought this, then you are correct. So let's do that one first. And it's going to be minus 3 minus a. That's what that's going to become. There we go. Because of that minus on the outside, that's what it became. Right, we write the rest in place. We do it one step at a time. Now, if you thought these are the next ones we're going to do, then you are correct. Everything that's in between those two, And we're going to look at how it was written out in another color there. We keep everything else in front of it the same. And then we have our minus sign that was brought in, minus times a minus, and minus times a plus. That was a minus, minus times a minus is a plus, minus times a minus is a plus, minus times a minus is a plus. Okay? So that's how those signs changed within that set of brackets. And we rewrote that whole piece here. Okay? Right. Then we just put the rest as it is before we go solve it. So now you can see we've eradicated those and we've eradicated those. They've been rewritten already in the sum or in the problem below. Now we just have one set left, these over here, and everything that's in between. So when we look at those, we end up with minus, we have plus 3a minus 4a, okay, plus 2a minus 4b plus 3. And then we put our plus 5b on the end. That was all the simplification that took place there, gave us this here. Right, and then the last step is we just simplify our like terms, and we end up with 2a plus b plus 3. Right, so that should make some more sense to you. Always solve your symbols of inclusion from the inside moving outwards. See you in tomorrow's lecture.